Alright guys, I'm about to try to start this thing, the 450 with the K241. It's about 9 o'clock at night and it's dark out. And I just got my wiring done. And I'm really excited to see if this thing will work or not. And let's see if I can get my camera set up here and we'll try it. I haven't tested the wiring, I haven't done anything. We're going to give it a shot. Probably not getting any spark. This tractor has this old coil and this really crappy looking condenser, which I suspect is no good, so I'm actually going to pull the plug here and see if we have any spark. But the starter's cranking, all my electrical works, that's good news. And I got fuel in my fuel line here. I primed that by blowing air into it first. So let's check for some spark and we'll see what we got. Well, it turns out that there's no spark, so what I'm actually going to do is rob a coil and a condenser off a machine that's in my garage. It actually works, and then we'll see if we got any spark on this thing, and that way we can always replace the coil and the condenser from the other machine. That's not really a big deal, but unfortunately my gut feeling is that this crappy condenser is the problem. It's clearly not a Kohler condenser, I'll tell you that. And you can see it's all rusty and nasty looking. I do have 12 volts coming to my coil. This coil has a really crappy connection on the top, which I don't like either. Not getting a good fit with my wire there. So let's start with the condenser, and then if that doesn't work, we're going to swap the coil. Well, I decided I would just swap this whole coil and condenser onto it. Now, unfortunately, I have to take the whole shroud off because this new condenser and coil is just bolted on there with nuts on the inside. There's no threads on the shroud, so I have to take the flywheel screen off, and then I have to unbolt the 4 bolts that hold the shroud on, and then I can change the thing. So, report back in a minute. Well, I got the new coil on and we got some spark. So what I'm going to do now is see if we can't get this thing running. Let's see. The fuel pump is leaking between the two surfaces. It's puking out gas. I tried to tighten the screws, I guess. Let's see what happens. Sounds a little loud. Whew. Well, I guess it runs. Let's see, it's leaking gas like crazy out of that fuel pump. I think I better try to tighten those nuts up there. But it does run. The rod sounds pretty loud, which I don't really like that sound, but I'm going to tighten up these nuts here on the pump and see if we can get it a little nicer. Oh, it's leaking like crazy. Yeah, it's gas. Let me get a little screwdriver and tighten them up and we'll try to start it again. But it does run.